and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're locked into episode 138 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you like the video, like the channel, save it to your device, subscribe, send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis, give it a 5-star review. If you're watching on YouTube like you should be, isn't that right, Gengar? Isn't that right, baby Gengar? Make sure you tap that like button, smash the fuck out of that subscribe button, and grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment because you're an oil man. No Pokemon card today. You'll see I'm wearing the red, white, and blue America Olympic jacket today, and you know what that means. Yeah. We got the America Pitties on Pikachu today. You know what that means. It's going to be a spicy fucking meatball, and you can probably guess what we're going to be talking about. Before we get to that, I'm going to talk about a couple of other things that are going on. The first thing, fuck my week. I don't even need to talk about my week. It's fine. Everything's cool. Next week is Grammy week. We got a lot coming up. I got something really fun planned for you guys, for the world, really. A really special thing. I can't say anything more than that, but that's going to be really fun. You'll see soon. Did you guys see Alex Honnold, the free solo climber, climb the fucking Taipei 101 building? Did you guys see this? Alex Honnold, who is he did Free Solo, that famous documentary where he climbed that huge, like 3,000 foot fucking mountain or whatever. Free solo. If you don't know what free solo means, it means with no wires, just barehanded. It's the most psychotic shit of all time. So he climbed a 1,700 foot skyscraper live on Netflix last night. And it was insane. He was supposed to do it the day before, and it was raining. And he was like, hey, maybe I shouldn't climb this skyscraper with my bare hands when it's raining. It might be a little slick. So they postponed it to the next day. And look, the climb was a success, thankfully, but the event sparked immediate backlash. The obvious thing that everyone was like upset about is, hey, what if he falls? What if he falls 1,700 feet to his death as millions tune in? Live on Netflix and in person, by the way, in China. Fortunately, I guess there was a 10-second delay to the stream in case he fell. But, still, the people there, the children watching from the window as he climbed up. My thing, this guy's reputation is built on extreme risk, precision, and control. If you watch the documentary, it's like all about taking it serious, removing factors of risk and being precise, and turning the climb into like a live broadcast introduces a lot of different factors, right? It's like incentives and, a lot of fundamentals that clash with the ethos of what free soloing is. Not that I know anything about free soloing outside of watching the documentary, but you're now thinking about view count and pacing and commentary and the production timing and audience pressure of people like in the building and out below and banging on the fucking glass and taking photos and shit as he's climbing up. And they just add variables to an activity where eliminating variables is the entire point. So I think I was never really worried that he was going to fall because this dude's a professional, like the GOAT. And compared to what he climbed on Free Solo, this looked like fucking cake. It's like me climbing a ladder, basically. But, I think the deeper issue is like cultural, like in the climbing community is kind of the backlash I've seen. Climbing is traditionally like, it's resisted commercialization. It's one of those sports. It's kind of like how like caving has become this weird internet phenomenon. And now everyone's trying to go caving and they're just dying because they're like climbing into tiny little cave crevices and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I think like climbing, which has resisted commercialization and spectacle, especially free soloing now with the documentary being a huge success and this dude kind of being like the star, the role model star, if you will. Live streaming kind of collapses the boundary between mastery and content creation. Like, are there going to be people who try and follow his footsteps now? Are other people going to try to climb these huge buildings, stream it on Twitch and on Kick? I don't know. In short, like the story isn't Alex Honnold did something dangerous and he did it and that was cool. It's more of like one of the most discipline-driven athletes alive briefly stepped into the attention economy. And I don't think the sport knows how to handle that yet. So that's kind of been the backlash that I've seen. Personally, as somebody who does not climb and will never fucking climb outside of a climbing gym, I thought it was cool. I'm not looking at the sacredness of free soloing and climbing. I think anybody that does that is batshit fucking crazy and has a death wish. But I thought it was tight. I think it's cool. Like bringing back spectacle to media is fun, in my opinion. Speaking of like just inclement weather, him not being able to climb on the first day, there's been some crazy weather here in America, huh? 11 people are dead and nearly 1 million people are without power as a crazy snowstorm has hit the United States this week. It's cutting across America. I know there's a lot of people who follow this show and are trapped in some kind of a snowstorm, which you have no excuse not to watch the show if you're stuck inside. And I feel bad for you guys, but what about me? What about me? It's like been 50 degrees in LA all week. And it's chilly. And I'm wearing a jacket. I didn't just wear this jacket for the video today. It's a little chilly out. I have to put my jacket on just to leave the car. And then in many cases, take it off when I step inside because it's hot inside. Well, I actually didn't need to put it on today, but it's like the planning and the thought of having to maybe have a jacket that really is tough right now out here in California. So just when you're, I know it's cold and there's like feet of snow and the roads are extremely dangerous and there's, just accidents and all types of crazy like black ice and shit out there. But just think of me having to wear my socks inside my apartment. Think about me in these tough times of weather. Okay, one more thing. TikTok is just broken now. Yeah, TikTok is just completely fucking broken. First week of the U.S. government and Oracle owning TikTok, and they've just completely destroyed everything immediately. They just walked in and fucking knocked everything over. Nothing has worked all day. People just can't upload videos. They're for you, and we'll get into that. The main thing we need to discuss is the new terms of service. The new terms of service on TikTok now track your citizenship and immigration status, your religious beliefs, your mental and physical health diagnosis, your race, your sexual preference and orientation. And so, that's a little alarming. I think for me, as somebody who, all these apps collect your data, right? They all collect your data. But there's something that feels a little sinister about this campaign that the government ran about, we can't let China take our data, for then to just immediately, which we knew was coming, take more data than China was actually taking. Because if you remember, China, all the data was being stored securely in a facility in Texas that was owned by the U.S. company and not given to China. What we have happening now is all of your data is going to Larry Ellison and Oracle and probably Palantir and the United States government. And what's happened in day one of new TikTok, of TikTok 2.0, nothing works. Censorship, completely cooked. Videos are in review for hours. My timeline, which is normally, my For You page, which is normally rich with like nuanced takes and political commentary and like funny videos and like riveting, media and tech information is all. My For You page is all dance videos and intergalactic cable. I'm like, it's like people with 13 followers in middle America in like a meth kitchen. I feel like I'm watching True Detective. And it's like some serial killer with like a fucking opiate. What's going on? I swiped for 30 minutes today, did not see one video about the shooting in Minneapolis. One video, not one video about the thing that nobody can stop talking about on both sides right now. I didn't try posting anything, but I would imagine all the things I'm seeing online of people's videos just not being posted or being taken down or getting community guideline violations or having their accounts suspended is something that should maybe raise the alarms. I mean, man, we didn't know how good we had it when China was collecting our data. Xi Jinping, where are you? At least the app worked properly and was fun. So I don't know. It might be cooked, chat. We'll see. Maybe they just hit the hard reset button and it'll take a couple of seconds to, shake the cobwebs with the new Palantir controlled algorithm, but it might be a wrap. Larry Ellison might have sunk his fucking villain mustache accented teeth into the beautiful platform that was TikTok, and I don't know, man. It might be over. So I'll see you guys on Instagram and X. My Twitter's been going fucking crazy the last like 3 weeks. I've got like 10 million views a day on Twitter for like a week straight. Which has been pretty insane. I always like had a big Twitter like back in the day, not to this scale, but obviously with the podcast, Reels and TikTok have been going crazy for years. My Twitter has been more of like a crypto NFT kind of, more about disruptive tech and music. And all of a sudden, I mean, I've kind of turned into a guy on there. So that's interesting because it turns out a lot of Americans are sick of watching other Americans get murdered, and they want to hear people talk about that. And, speaking of dystopian societies built on mass surveillance and American citizens getting murdered in the street, I guess we should just get to it, yeah? I guess we should just get to it because this week's episode, I might put the pit vipers on and I might not take them off. You know what? I'm not going to get political. As much as I'd like to, I think it's best suited if I kick it over to head correspondent at GNN, the most trusted source of news, Gino Borri, the head correspondent over there. Gino, can you tell us what's going on in the world right now? Welcome to GNN, your leading source of news, politics, and this week, state-sanctioned executions in the street. And now your host, Gino Borri. Good afternoon. I'm your host, Gino Borri, and this is the beginning of the end. Oh my God, dude. Let me take a sip of some fucking unbranded water. And you know what? I mean, the red cardies definitely give me something, give off the anger, but not quite like the American pitties might. So it's time for a Pit Viper mega rant. Pit Viper mega rant! Pit Viper mega rant! Let's talk about what happened in Minnesota. No, not Renee Good. No, that was the tragic death that happened last week. This week, we had another person murdered by ICE. And let me walk you through the events. Let me just give you a fact-based summary of the events. I'm not going to show the video on here. You've seen it. I guess it's maybe graphic. I guess I guess I'm so desensitized that I don't even think it's graphic anymore, but you essentially are watching a man get assassinated in the street. So let's walk through what happened, okay? Alex Pretti, an ICU nurse at a VA hospital, an American citizen, peacefully assembles on the street of Minneapolis, exercising his First Amendment right. Alex has a legally licensed firearm concealed and tucked in his waistband, exercising his Second Amendment right. On the sidewalk, an unarmed woman is thrown to the ground for no reason by a masked federal agent. She is filming him. He throws her to the ground. Alex, an ICU nurse who has spent his whole life helping people, steps forward with his phone in his hand to come to the aid of the woman. He doesn't strike the officer. He doesn't get in the officer's face. He really kind of just takes a step forward towards the woman who has been thrown to the ground. He's then pepper sprayed, mind you, phone in his hand, pepper sprayed, then tackled to the ground by multiple ICE agents with his hands in the air, one of which holding his phone. Then, while on all fours, 6 agents beat him, while another agent in front of him pistol whips him in the face. Another agent snatches Alex's firearm from his waistband, takes the gun away from Alex, and walks away. Then, agents fire 10 shots at point-blank range into Alex, killing him. 5 of those shots was when he was already laying lifelessly on the ground, face first. 5 more shots. Emptied the whole fucking clip in him. Now, despite 3 angles of video evidence, within an hour, the administration has once again launched a smear campaign on the victim, claiming that Alex was a domestic terrorist that, and I quote, intended to massacre law enforcement. They want you to believe that this VA nurse wanted to walk up with a pistol tucked in his back pocket and massacre the federal agents. Dead. Shot dead. ICE has now committed 66% of the murders in Minneapolis this year. 2 out of the 3 homicides. 1 being Renee Good, 1 being Alex Pretti. So, immediately upon him being killed, Stephen Miller, who is just a Nazi, posts this tweet. A would-be assassin tried to murder federal law enforcement, and the official Democrat account sides with the terrorists. A would-be assassin? A would-be assassin. They're not even trying anymore. They're not even trying. They think you're stupid. Because you are. Yeah, John Wick showed up to take out all of the agents, and thank God he was neutralized. Armed with the notoriously dangerous iPhone 15 millimeter assault weapon. It is the way that the government in these 2 weeks have rebranded protesters to agitators is really astonishing stuff. Especially after they just rebranded January 6ers to patriots. Let's go over, Dana Bash on CNN had an interview with Bavino, who is Dean Bavino or something, the head of ICE. This interview is fucking mind-numbing. Let's run it.
Not going to adjudicate that here on TV in one freeze frame there.
Okay, it's not a freeze frame. We're showing a video of one of your agents taking the gun away, and that happened before Pretti was shot.
We don't know that agent was taking any gun away. That could have been the agent's, because we don't know that.
Yes, we do.
The facts are going to come to light.
So you're
as to what
disputing the
exactly
video, but that's what happened.
with an investigation. That's why we investigate.
Oh, now
Well,
we investigate.
with respect, you say that's why we investigate, but you're also drawing other conclusions that sort of fly in the face of waiting for an investigation.
Thank you,
It feels
Dana.
as though, in some ways, you're blaming the victim here.
The victims are the Border Patrol agents. I'm not blaming the Border Patrol agents. The victim are the Border Patrol agents. The suspect put himself in that situation. The victims are the Border Patrol agents there.
The victims are the Border Patrol agents? Which one's the victim? The one that shoved the woman to the ground? The one that pepper sprayed Alex in the face? The one that was pistol whipping him in the face while there was 6 guys on top of him beating him? Those 6 guys, are they the victim? The one that executed him in the back of the head from point blank range? Was that guy the victim? Have you seen the photo? Yeah, it's just the guy holding the gun to the back of his head, execution style. Was he the victim? Or maybe the agent that emptied his entire fucking clip from 3 feet away while he was already lying on the ground lifelessly. Maybe that's the victim that you're talking about. Again, this administration is accusing a Veteran Affairs ICU nurse of being a terrorist. A man who dedicated his life to serving Americans, who in his final act was coming to the aid of a woman that was thrown to the ground by a Little League umpire with a gun and full immunity. And they are labeling this man as a suspect for exercising his First and Second Amendment right. This should radicalize you. And if this doesn't radicalize you, maybe this Kash Patel clip will, where Kash Patel had something to say about what happened.
No, I mean, thousands of people are marching through Minneapolis. They are targeting the Border Patrol. I mean, it feels like the rhetoric and the protesting is only ramping up. What is your advice to the people right now who are outraged that this is a second killing at the hands of Border Patrol in 2 weeks?
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence. We will, of course, always protect your First Amendment speech. And if you peacefully protest, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you have seen a trend here, not just in Minnesota, but across the country, in these protests turning into violent scenarios and people attacking law enforcement. That's when you go over the line, and that's when law enforcement steps in.
Hey, so what's interesting, you can bring a gun to a protest. You can do that, actually. The administration that paraded around Kyle Rittenhouse after killing 2 people at a protest with an assault rifle now is telling you that you cannot bring a concealed pistol to a protest. Kyle Rittenhouse had a rifle in his hands like this. Drove across state lines with a rifle in his hand. This gentleman had a pistol tucked in his waistband behind his back. And he's telling you, you can't do that. You can do that, Kash. You know that. That's in the Constitution, Kash. Also, yeah, well, we'll always protect your First Amendment right to as long as you're peacefully protesting. That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. He was peacefully protesting. He had his fucking phone in his hand on the sidewalk. If that's not peaceful, what is peaceful protesting then? What is it? Please, federal government, can you define the most convenient, cozy way for protesters to protest? What would be most convenient for you guys? What would be best? How would you like people to protest so that they don't inconvenience the thing that they're protesting? What would be best for you? Break it down for me. I'm dying to know. Please explain it to me in detail. Because what's interesting is you contradict your fucking self every step of the way. Every step of the way. It's a lie after a lie after a lie. There's no North Star. You don't believe in anything. You sure as fuck don't believe in the institution of this democratic republic. You don't believe in the fucking rules that are set. If you cannot protest in public without being labeled a domestic terrorist, there is no First Amendment. If you cannot walk around the street with a gun, a legally licensed firearm in your back pocket, if you can be shot in the street for legally bearing arms, there is no right to bear arms. There is no Second Amendment. What the fuck is the point of having a gun legally registered to you if you can be shot dead because you're doing it? Because you're at a protest? The Republican Party has twisted themselves into a pretzel so tight, so salty and scrumptious, that they now are against the Second Amendment. Hey, NRA, do I have a story for you? Hey guys, you there? Has anybody heard from the NRA? Has anybody heard from Gun Owners of America? It's like a wise man once said. The Second Amendment is not for hunting. It is not for self-protection. It is there to ensure that free people can defend themselves if, God forbid, government became tyrannical and turned against its citizens. Who was the wise man that foreshadowed this event in American history? Charlie Kirk. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Charlie was right. The one time I've ever agreed with Charlie Kirk. And MAGA is now arguing common sense gun laws after decades of explaining away children getting murdered in elementary schools. When children are mowed down in the hallways, it's don't tread on me, you aren't taking away my God-given right to an assault rifle. If they take my guns away, what happens if a tyrannical government comes for my constitutional rights? Oh, he had a legally licensed concealed firearm? Oh, well, yeah, all 10 shots were justified. He brought a gun outside? Firing squad on the sidewalk. The right went from, we should arm teachers with assault rifles, to, carrying a gun is actually pretty dangerous. And you shouldn't do it. You should let the people know you're carrying a gun when you're carrying a gun. Also, by the way, he didn't have his ID on him. Yeah, technically, Alex Pretti didn't have his ID, so that's actually illegal. Yeah, it's a misdemeanor. What's the charge for not having your ID on you with your legally licensed firearm? Thanks for asking. It's a $25 fine and firing squad on the fucking sidewalk. Guns don't kill people. Bad guys with guns kill people. Yeah, I guess you guys were right. Watching the entire Second Amendment conservative grift breakdown in real time is truly amazing to witness. I would feel vindicated if I didn't also feel radicalized, because you know what? It's time to get a gun. I've never felt like I needed one until now. I've never felt less safe in my own country than I do right now. I'm buying a gun. My parents watch this podcast. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. But look at this place, man. What the fuck is going on, dude? I can't, I'm losing my goddamn mind on the internet arguing with these people. These people believe in nothing. Arguing with the MAGA cult is like playing baseball with the golden retriever. You strike them out on 3 pitches and they piss on home plate and run around the bases anyway. And I'm not talking about Buddy, who could play baseball. It's just, it's fucking fascinating to me. All these don't tread on me tough guys that spent decades saying people need to carry guns to protect themselves against government tyranny. And as soon as somebody carries a gun to protect themselves against said tyranny, they side with the government tyranny. Weak, scared, tiny, whittle, bootlicking bitches when confronted with actual tyranny. It makes me fucking sick. It actually makes me ill. Spineless. You call yourselves a fucking patriot? Spineless, wacky, inflatable, flailing tube men. Oh, I don't agree with their politics. They're there protesting something I don't agree with. Let me ask you a question. Do you agree with the U.S. Constitution? Yes or no? If the answer's no, then get the fuck out of the country. Then leave. Then why don't you get out? Get the fuck out, dude. Go. You either believe in free speech or you don't believe in free speech. You either believe in the Second Amendment or you don't believe in the Second Amendment. Me personally, up to this point, not super stoked on gun stuff. Yeah? Not really stoked on gun stuff. If I had it my way, I would probably want all guns taken out of the country. Let's just get rid of guns. Let's ban assault rifles. But you know what? It is what it is. I would like more reasonable gun control, you know? I would like common sense gun laws. But the right has made it clear that that's ridiculous. And any infringement on your rights to own a gun is an infringement on all your rights to own a gun. And all of a sudden, it's a full fucking 180. Because they cannot admit that somebody on their side may have fucked up. They cannot admit that maybe, just maybe, the thing that they voted for was not what they thought they were getting. Just maybe, the untrained, dumbest kid you've ever gone to high school with doesn't know what the fuck he's doing and is in over his head and fucked up. And you're so blinded by it that instead of just being like, wow, this was a tragedy. It's really fucked up and unfortunate. And you know what? Although I still think that we need to continue to deport illegal immigrants, maybe we could go about it in a way that's less fucking insane. Maybe, you know what? Maybe in this particular story, and in the instance of Renee Good, those particular people fucked up and committed murder because they don't know what they're doing and they fucked up. And they didn't need to do that. And you know what? They'll see their day in court. But instead, we're doing a backbend on the balancing beam with the last remaining fragments of our brain and deciding, you know what? I actually don't like the Second Amendment. You know what? Actually, with this one caveat. The thing about protesting, you need to protest conveniently or you're an agitator. Please wake the fuck up. Because I'll tell you what, this is a turning point. You want to talk about Turning Point USA? This is a turning point. This is the moment. This moment, there's been a lot of moments, right? It really feels like this moment is the moment that MAGA is probably done. Because most sensible Americans are like, all right, what the fuck is this? The ICE approval ratings were already trending pretty poorly. And now when you watch a guy just get fucking executed in the street, they were already about to get smoked in midterms. Oh, buddy. So that's A, okay? So now here's what you can do. You can either realize, you know what? I voted for Trump and this is not what I voted for. And I don't agree with this. And you know what? we need to figure something out. This is not it. And we would like some accountability. And we need to approach this in a different way. And we need to be more tactful. You either start doing that or you're going down with the ship. You're going down with the Titanic. There is no coming back from this. Do you understand? And it's only going to get worse. This man will not bow out gracefully. He will not take the L. It will get worse. It's a complete collapse of democracy, and everybody parenting, like babying their little cult following friends in their echo chamber, parroting the same talking points. You're complicit. And you're lost. I see some of these people and I'm like, how did you get here? If you were to tell yourself 10 years ago that you would be on the internet calling a VA nurse a terrorist and blaming him for legally owning a concealed weapon and being shot 10 times while unarmed, by the way, after being de-armed and really not being a threat, already wasn't a threat because he was on all fours with 8 people on him. If you were to tell yourself that you would be blaming that guy 10 years ago, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. It turns out when Trump said that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Ave and wouldn't lose a supporter, he was right. You remember this clip?
You know what else they say about my people? The polls. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
Yeah. It's like incredible. Guys, I got to be honest. I don't know if I want to do the FOHHOF this week. I don't think my heart's in it. I'm really like, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I don't want you guys to think that I'm bailing on the jokes this week, but I'm just like, what the fuck, man? And I've been in a weird place the last few days. I've just got like a bunch of death threats because of the Hail Hitler commentary video where I was making fun of Nick Fuentes and all those fucking Nazi incel losers. And I've just been like in just a really weird place, kind of like looking at this country and like thinking about a lot of things. And I got the Grammys coming up this week. It's like Grammy week. And I just got a lot on my mind. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you more today. I wish I could give you more, but that's all I got. I'm exhausted mentally. I'm exhausted physically because I've been in the gym and I've been getting fucking swole, but my body's been taking a beat down. You know what I mean? I've been really pushing that plate around because I got to become a threat now, right? I got to become a threat because the country's crumbling. And yeah. Anyway, look, I want to thank you for tuning in this week. I want to thank the reasonable people on both sides for just being reasonable and trying to look at this situation rationally, and anybody attempting to reach across the aisle and talk some sense into some of these fucking people. And because there's a lot of Republicans that are like, yeah, what the fuck is this? I'm not fucking with this. It is, and I've been talking about this for the past couple of months. It seems like as MAGA continues to fracture, the Republican Party continues to fracture. Most sensible people are, their unwavering support has wavered. And I think people are I've seen it in my comments. I've seen it in my DMs outside of the fucking death threats that I've got from like the biggest losers in the world from 4chan who won't even leave their basement. But it's been interesting watching this whole thing kind of eat itself. And I don't know what is going to happen with midterms. I don't know if we're going to have midterms. I mean, who fucking knows? Like this dude, it could get really fucking spooky here really quick. So I'm not saying arm yourself, but I'm saying like arm yourself at least mentally, you know, and really start to prepare for like what could happen here. Again, I don't think it's going to get, I'm praying to God our system of checks and balances, and there's enough people with a fucking spine and a ball sack in Congress, not literally physically, to step up if something does go astray. But it won't be me. If shit gets weird here, I'm going to Asia. I'll see you guys in Tokyo. And I'll still do this podcast, but I will be doing it from Shinjuku. Or I'll be in Seoul, getting that K-pop bag. Yeah. I want to thank you guys for tuning in this week. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit the like button, save it to your device, send it to a loved one or an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend or an ex-they them, and then you're gonna head on over to YouTube because you should be watching on YouTube. Isn't that right, Gengar? Isn't that right, baby Gengar? Head on over to YouTube, tap the like button ever so delicately, and then just smash the fuck out of that subscribe button. Grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment because you're an oil man and you've got some Venezuelan oil left over. And Beyonce, I want to thank you because as this country continues to spiral into turmoil, you're there supporting me and giving me the opportunity to have this podcast. So thank you so much for that. Guys, thanks again. I promise next week we're going to have an action-packed episode. I'm going to be coming off the heels of the Grammys, hopefully as a Grammy winner. I'm nominated for Best Alternative Latin Album for Paco and Catriel with Papota, so fingers crossed. If I don't come back a winner, I will come back a salty fucking dog. We're trying to take home number 6, guys. Let's do it. And until then, as the world continues to crumble beneath our feet and this country descends into a fascist hellscape, at least you get to do it with me. Yeah. And until next week, good night and good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that you got.
Pikachu, what's the name of that fucking show again? Right. With who?
Gino.
That's me.
It's gonna get you moving, get you
I don't got that.
Good vibes, good times. With Gino by your side, you'll be feeling fine. Every week, he's gonna bring the hype. So come on, let's go. Tune in all night. Good vibes, good times. With Gino, it's gonna be a real delight. So get ready to laugh.
Let's go. Fuck ice.